Hey guys, Useless here, and I'm talking about The Last of Us Part 2 again. Now, I've made a few videos about this game because I genuinely love it, and I find the discourse surrounding it to be fascinating, for better or for worse. But I've yet to address this specific criticism of the game. It is a criticism that I've heard from quite a few people that I just vehemently disagree with. And that's the notion that Joel was disrespected and just tossed to the side like a dog's chew toy in The Last of Us Part 2. Now, I do get why people feel that way. I mean, in a literal sense, he was. He gets killed at the beginning of the game in a pretty disrespectful way, I would argue, and doesn't appear much for the rest of it. But when analyzing the narrative of the game, I find that the character of Joel is not only not disrespected, but is felt throughout most of the plot. First of all, in response to the notion that he's disrespected, I don't think that showing the negative effects of a character's actions is disrespecting said character. Showing the effects of Joel's massacre, and more specifically Abby's loss, isn't meant to make you hate Joel. It's just meant to make you look at the situation from a different perspective. I think a lot of people played through that sequence and just went, I am saving Ellie, nothing else matters. And honestly, that was my reaction as well. It's an understandable one. When we played that game, we loved Ellie just as much as Joel does. If I were in a situation with a daughter of my own, I would probably try to save her too. But The Last of Us Part 2 does a really good job of presenting the situation from a completely unbiased point of view. You get both sides of it. From Abby's point of view, some guy killed a hospital full of her people and most devastatingly her dad. So she sought revenge. From Joel's point of view, the Fireflies were going to kill his daughter.
So I stopped them.
I really don't think that the game is trying to make you think Abby is some perfect queen and that Joel is some horrible monster you should hate. I think the game is trying to make you feel conflicted and understand both sides. I also feel the same about the conflict between Ellie and Joel. I don't think the game is trying to make you just side with Ellie and think Joel is a complete asshole. From Ellie's point of view, Joel took her opportunity to have her life mean something. And by the way, if you played the Left Behind DLC, then you'll know that he also robbed her of her ability to finally have her chance to die alongside Riley. Although The Last of Us Part 2 doesn't really touch on the Last of Us DLC, like, at all, so I don't even know if we can count it, but I don't know. If you played the DLC, then surely that's, like, sort of running in the back of your mind that that's also an element here. From Joel's point of view, he couldn't bear to lose another daughter. I think that the game wants you to sympathize with both characters. I don't think that it's trying to paint Joel as an evil monster. And by the way, if you think that the first Last of Us is a masterpiece, then you should know that they were pretty clearly setting up this conflict at the end of the game. Ellie is distant when climbing up that mountain because she feels like Joel is being dishonest with her. Ellie being upset with Joel is the natural continuation of that story. And no, I don't think that the act of killing him off early is disrespectful either. Certain characters should not be more important than the story that you're trying to tell. The characters in a story should be there to serve the story, not the other way around. Naughty Dog wanted to tell a revenge story. Killing off Joel and having that rob Ellie of being able to make up with him is a pretty damn powerful way of telling that story. And the gruesome way that he was killed only makes it more powerful. I mean, I was heartbroken watching Joel get beaten to death. Naughty Dog wasn't disrespecting the character. They were trying to elicit an emotional response from the player. They wanted us to feel the same loss that Ellie felt. And honestly, judging by the reaction to this game, I think they might have done too good of a job with that. But anyways, even with all that stuff being fine in my opinion, and none of it disrespecting the character, I also disagree when people say that he was just tossed to the side. I would agree that he was just tossed to the side if he got killed and then Ellie was just like, alright, well, that happened. Hey Dina, what's up? But no. Joel's death and her inability to repair that relationship is the driving motivation for her revenge quest. So even though Joel isn't physically present for most of the game, His presence is absolutely still felt. Honestly, I would even make the same argument for Abby's side of the story. Abby getting revenge for Joel killing her dad is her driving motivation. The impact of Joel's massacre at the end of the game is like completely felt throughout the second half of the game. So yeah, like I really don't think that you can say that they just wasted the character or that he was just tossed to the side like he doesn't even matter, because this game literally could not have even happened if not for Joel. But anyways, what do you think about this topic? Just to be clear, I'm not trying to come at you if you disagree. This is just a criticism for this game that I've heard a lot that I just really don't agree with. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Leave a like, subscribe, ring the bell, and goodbye.